Konadu Ajman Rollins yemfa nya ne kwan yemfa ntwaja jo sans wa be bia ma o man Ghana honkomo na yeba bedi
Kasebo mu aseda yemfa ma this way chocolate drink no here no a ene unsu hie special so special range of drinks best point best assurance you to nchene kan ho be grocer enso ebu achidom na anadwe yesim kunya kasebo ye de esomwo akenkan for me Sadat Muhammad mene
David Ofori Safo afebo era ensem no emu o my Ghana enra yante asomode former first lady Nana Konadu Ajman Rollins wadan benkum so watwa nananom ewonsiedo eno nam so manne Ghana mrashibdwafo majority leader Munyamfo Mahama Ayarga eduanim akwabusua fie akamabusua hyeden
Now we know how kase makana for Sunday ayen titru ayen mbese afuna ye parliamentarians and other ayen mbese afuna ye politicians maame no nedwuma obeye time na kun oye first lady for 19 years on no my yen mbese afubi etumi de samami obotum aye ga yen to ye beden ye boko because oye besia okuku dem besia nenwa ye dina je ogina nenanda o bibia shaking nti der kan ho asem no na ogina nenandu pinti nti o ma ye mu binom ye hie wono ho pa wodamate
Mekai no do ebi say onu ye 31st ena onu no watete ye onu no wama ye ema bi enye bra ye timi ye to de bi mekai de bia ebi say me nkwa hye any senior of my ma me 31st na me di mo do ni nyina me tu yeah, balance it. My balance it. The Nina into my
Mrs. Konadu Ajman Rollins for her forthrightness, her determination, her fight for freedom for women, liberation for women, uplifting women, and how much she influenced national politics. I remember her in my direct interaction with her when she tried to teach me how to respond to family life and directly advise me about my marriage and all that. I mean, she came down to me as a woman who shows concern and, tried very hard to get into my life to help me to keep the marriage. And that was my direct contact with her. She did a lot of things for this country. She impressed us, supported, formed a party, formed her own party, got involved in national politics, and did so much.
Yeah, ma'am. Me did say, yeah, you nimni na nim say, obi a wodwene ni fam, obi a na emma eda na fama so. Obi a wodi akotene power e wo yamanyo ene amanyo se. Ene uhu emma omudina omna so eye nema pi e wo amanyo kuma ana amanyo se mu eye nema bi o mafa free ono ene ho ena omde ye de omoyi. Nti wa Ghana na minimse sabre de edema busuan nti yegina kwan we so emomo ya ama menu amba so ya abusuan ni nyina anyafo ne emma ni nyina ya mo bia ya.
It is indeed what had transpired, and so today again we curtailed proceedings and we're here, all the members of parliament who attended sitting today, both the
Nana Konadu Ajman Rollins ni fie abusua enamfofo ene wo man nyina no dodo na de wani akire mu fie ho no mokoka abusua ho na woni abusua su na wafasa ayoso na wamama ene abusua woje wona chinso yakọ na enka na Ghana mampanyini na ado dankwa kufo ado wodi edomani mo makwa pie mu ewo fie ho no mu bi nyo no nko a aban chiame wo manyafo Julius Debra ono so akwa pie mu ewo fie ho no mu bi enka Sierra Leone mampanyin Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf ono so be piemu ewo my Ghana mo company for ho akwa piemu ewo Nana Konadu Ajima Rollins ni fie okoka abusua ho na wa momo yako Dr. Konadu fo nso so a company for ho ko ye no awufo nwoma book of condolences wa bi di ato ho no no wonyina no okotwere mu bie
the first na wama na Konadu be pray for atise okay and run in your tears so from the body about the fear. Now, a riot can was him. Can you be quiet? Obey Juma, Kessia, Maimo. Is really to know. This is a gun, a bopo. Every try home. I feel quiet between the zero. The Nunchi and I'm missing about the pay. Where Madame for? Abe, come here, Nunchi. Because he has some lava money, I'm not saying. He has a lebefia, so. In the summer, I chose him, Mamma Moyako. I am a son. About penny, petite, about Juma Cassiamo, and Uchi, Nasma Bassan, and Mava Camo. Now, acquire the first one. The big Jano coin, which we buy a massive teacher. As some Cassiama between our Ghana and Uchi and Nancy.
Incredibly shocking, but naturally to be accepted. God does what he wills. Nana Konadu Ajima Rollins, stalwart and founding member of the National Democratic Congress. She played her part. She contributed immensely in the very formative and struggling years of the NDC as a party. I still recall coming to the home here with the late Justice Annan, supported by the husband, together with my colleagues who later formed the NDC Youth Forum. Inu Safusene, Elvis Afriankra, Fifi Kwete, John Adam, Kofi Adams, and one of their largest from Wa. Konadu used her own money in financing the activities and operations of the party. Today, the party have birthed two presidents. President J.A. Mills, after the demise of President Rollins, and it has birthed John Dramani Mahama, part of her legacy and sacrifice. And for me as Minister for Education, today in the world, we are celebrating what we call play-based learning pedagogies, where you use play to teach learners. By the fireside will remain an enduring legacy, and we will renew and improve it as a play-based pedagogy to encourage learners at that age to use play to learn.
Former First Lady, the distinguished delegation, on behalf of my siblings, on behalf of the family, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to you for the love that you have shown us, for the support. Indeed, this was very sudden, and if it were not as serious as it is, the fitting caption would probably be "what a shock," because that's exactly how we're all feeling today. I think most of us are still processing the situation, but the fact is, as people who believe that God gives and God takes, we must accept that this is where we are today because God has chosen to take away his own. We would like to express our appreciation to you once again and to let you know that as soon as the family has come out with the dates and everything, we shall communicate everything accordingly. Thank you so very much once again on behalf of the family.
Na sansom ya no UTV kase ne Ghana de share din komo afa nana Konadu Adwuma Rollins a wada ne benkum so na ansempa Ghana fo akafa no hono ebini.
Me de na me de gene papa vi se on na sam ye plain on kata niam so eti se ya me adum na o ma baye o ma fam de o mo kwa ya me fa ne kra esie baby
guess no mba se se anu a aka mo fa ni kwan so a aka ebe ye papa so no me ma mi say obehu ni the body kwan de ohun aso respecting wo yo ma me bia obu nu hu na ni ti anytime bia maybe obeye ni ti so o ma no akoba nu o ta say no I say education ni wenu so a I say onimu okasa omo say ye oba kasa
dem de kan kese pa ne say o tin hu friend isi mu no okote ne party no o kas o kam obi ate say okode no ya aboa ni ti no e yo na de man isi enti o gina de enti o okode ni ti nan isi for so emfa chini ye no e be gentra ha wo man mu pa ma ne be ye ti ma me de se kase ewe be fini pa de a ne e boy ewe mfin de biala da e ma de nkoso mutimi suan bebre free ma me no mfi se ma me mo de mbo a wabo no e ma bi eno 5 but yenuanu ma ya o ma ba no mu nyoma so mbe suan de afa ye ma me no mpanimfo na o ma bo mu modern no o man mu e bibi sa antisa e chinchi ni ananti kama stress yenuanu ma esi so no so mbetima suan ma me no bo blani ni suban ni bia enka boboa o ma bla boa Ghana man pa
ye kai how we very strong otani kunachi political rally time I villages oba all the time no yeah we very strong woman and I feel so there back come kai fan ho they say like okasa to me say na near din olidi Ghana man no nti I say ne bro ho I say man enhwe sunsun it's not about say bia okoto so kunu wasika na say odinachi na mo no in hard times in dangerous times so so odinachi because we've married together you know
free JJ time ni na when we bre kama support ni kunu
UN Kuniba Satan Finchia do watching 80 years in years nyina no ehye ho for my Ghana yenso ya hye ho fa bi ewo enkran na dwumadi ase eno rumanyamfo Samuel Okudjetu abla kwa panyini ena hwe amono nkita hodie ho nsem so wakasa ewa ase de tudwa se UN Kuni de Ghana yedi ehu ni ewo Kuni ni mo yebekoso ye nhyehyɛ pa na atumi abɔ mu asundwe da Ghana ene amahodo ntamu no atumi afa ne ntoma pa de fira na rumanyamfo sa kyire mu se ukopie mu ewo UN Kuni mu a Security Council ne so no braso sa Africa yenso yenya konwa ewo so bi
share responsibility for a better tomorrow, then our international institutions must reflect today's global realities. It is time for Africa to have a full and equal voice at the decision-making table. Even as we press for reform and justice, we must celebrate the many achievements of the United Nations, from peacekeeping and humanitarian assistance to promoting human rights and sustainable development. The UN has helped build a more stable and compassionate world. Ghana, as a proud and long-standing contributor to UN peacekeeping missions, remains committed to supporting efforts that restore peace and hope in conflict-affected regions. And today, as we celebrate 80 years of the United Nations, we are proud that we can say as a country that 80 years on, Ghana has never been one of those countries to foment trouble. Ghana has never started any war in any part of this world. And we urge other countries to learn to emulate from the inspiring example of Ghana. If all countries were to emulate the example of Ghana, we shall indeed live in a world without conflict, a world without strife, a world without mass killings, and a world without genocide. Today, as we raise the UN flag, we honor the service and sacrifice of those who have worked tirelessly under its banner. We also renew our commitment to the UN Charter to uphold peace, protect human rights, and foster multilateral cooperation for the good of all humanity and that of all departed heroes. Rest in peace. perfect peace. I shall now request that the UN and Ghana flags fly at half-mast to show our respect.
Let me again commend the government and the people of Ghana for their consistent commitment to the principles on which the United Nations was built: peace, human rights, and sustainable development. Let this day remind us that the future we seek must be built together with resolve, with compassion, and with shared purpose. The same spirit that rebuilt the world in 1945 must renew it again in 2025. Thank you very much.
Yademo Eko, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, Australia, Wamo any omo partners, Amo Abuchi, assign Entiasia Pam Yunu, our Mobile Scano Sumo 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. What they be rare and from a gas I produce you a woman emo.
So, in terms of performance highlights, the target for our reserves was 707 million barrels of oil equivalent. We've achieved 21.4% as acceptable above target. Prospects generation 5. We've generated 5. Drilling and completions. We've drilled and completed 2 development wells. In crude oil production, target was 103. We're looking at about 102,319 per day. Well location for drilling of 1 reconnaissance well in the Voltaire Basin. Acquiring additional interest in the Bekan block, we've exercised those rights. The minister talked about the MOU with the Jubilee partners. We target $2 billion.
Penyu kwanchere for the Ghana Health Service ano ene Professor Samuel Kaba Akuriya na openyine wakasa de atudwa se aban hyehyeye se apomudi adwumayefo a eba adwen ene chibremo mo adwuma omunim de no ababehwe hunu se dodo na no obetete wo na watimi aba monten so watimi aboa na apomudi ho nsem ewo ma Ghana mu no atumi afa ne ntoma pa edifra openyide sanse na atudwa wo African Neurophysiological Society omunhye mo bi ode hyehyɛ so ewo Accra ase.
Then we have to rethink and welcome the resetting of our health system. And as I say, currently we have very few neurophysiologists, just about 8 to 10 of them, and most of them in the private sector. But as we strive to implement the free primary health care and Mahama cares towards chronic illness, we will do so, knowing that neurophysiology is important in all aspects, including the retooling process and human resource development. And what this simply means is that when we are getting equipment, neurophysiology will not be left alone. And what that also means is that, one, we have to develop a special and closer collaboration with the Society of Neurophysiology. And 2, our partnership with the Ghana Neurophysiology team has to grow more and more. And we are willing to support the training and post-training recruitment of neurophysiologists in Ghana. It's not only to train them, but to make sure that by the time they come out, they will be recruited. And just an example, yesterday I was compiling the list of our human resource gap, and I realized that we didn't have neurophysiologists assessed in the analysis. So I've instructed that the Director HR does the neurophysiology gap assessment, and not only that, but also define clear-cut career progressions for neurophysiologists should we start their training in Ghana.
In Ghana, the Ministry of Health is collaborating closely with our teaching hospitals, universities, and partners to enhance our response to those challenges. Through this, the National Policy on Non-Communicable Diseases, we are integrating neurological disorders into broader public health strategies. As we open this conference, let us commit ourselves to dependent collaboration between government, academia, and professional associations to ensure that neurological health remains a public health priority in Africa. Together, we can strengthen research, improve training, and enhance patient care, ensuring that no one living with a neurological disorder is left behind.
Ghana neurologists, they share CGF from Yendoso. They're 16, but they share equipment with the Omundoso cry into let's say training the Pabebre now Emboa with the fight against a place. But CCI be global brain health. Ubia shiny brain health, brain wide brain health. 1, I say we exercise. 2, I say debia usuan bibi new. 3, uda 6 to 8 hours. 4, I say udidi. Isaiah rice baby and a stew stew baby and I'm kitty I said my yes and I say yeah exercise and nanti and avoid stress. All these things will help with brain health.
Awie ebegina we so na kasebo no EDSC kasebo na sise no ekwemu atene David Ofori Safo enimpenfo besin konwa na wadi Ghana enkomonyi wa fidie ni mfiri ha yetwe ho abasisi ya